Hey guys, I'm Rob Tatro. Today we are talking about the 9 most important questions you must ask an investment professional when you're considering hiring that person. It is critical. We're going to go through them all right now, right here, so that you are best prepared for that upcoming phone call. I'm Rob Tatro from robtatro.com, portfolio manager here at Canaccord Genuity Wealth Management and the Tatro Wealth Advisory Group. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks for coming. Take a sec to subscribe. Press the red button on the YouTube. Like, share, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're watching, make sure to like and follow. We're thankful here. We put out some good content. But now let's get right into it. Okay, first question, the most important. Number 1, are you a fiduciary? Now, a fiduciary is, in Canada, it's a portfolio manager. That individual owes you the highest duty of care at law in a client-professional relationship. It is a fiduciary obligation. I used to practice law for a living. When I was a lawyer, I owed every one of my clients a fiduciary obligation, the highest duty of care. I had to and must act in their best interest at all times. You can't make a decision for them that's not in their best interest. Seems like a no-brainer, right? That all investment advisors, investment professionals, mutual fund salesmen, financial planners, they should all owe you a fiduciary obligation, right? Not true. And in fact, they don't. In our industry, the only individuals, the only investment professionals that owe you a fiduciary obligation, portfolio managers. And it's the best level of protection that you can get for your own assets is to make sure that the individual that's in charge of making decisions on your portfolio has your best interest at heart. It also eliminates deferred sales charges on mutual funds. It eliminates a whole bunch of fees that are hidden that you're not aware about. Everything must be transparent, much higher level of compliance, much better investment experience for you, the client. Second, what services do you provide for your clients? So a lot of individuals out there that are putting themselves out as investment professionals, they're effectively mutual fund salesmen, or they might be stockbrokers, or they might strictly be planners. What is it that you're looking for? So for us here, the focus is on holistic wealth planning. We want to give you advice on every single piece of your wealth. I want to be the absolute, and I am the absolute first phone call for every single one of my clients. I want them to know that if they have an investment question, a lending question, an insurance question, maybe it's a corporate structure question, maybe it's a legacy question, some trust that they're looking at doing, whatever the question, the urgency is, they could call Rob Tatro and they're going to get an answer. They're going to get a line of vision as to where they want to go with respect to this part of their wealth. And that to me is the most important. Now, if you're only looking for a mutual fund salesman, we'll make sure that that's what you're getting. If you're only looking for a stockbroker, we'll make sure that's what you're getting. But for us, we believe in holistic wealth planning. Number 3, what do you charge and how do you get paid? So to me, that is critical. And this one is a difficult one because most individuals out there, a lot of individuals are charging 2 types of fees. One might be a hidden fee that's done through the mutual fund. For example, it's an MER, it's a built-in management expense ratio that you as an owner of that mutual fund might never see. So that could be frustrating. If you're a viewer out there right now and you've seen that in the past and you don't really understand how your fees are being charged, ask the question. Ask them, how are you getting paid? How much are you getting paid? And that's a question that should be asked at all times. So you want to make sure, for us, I have a deep, deep value and intrinsic value that my grandparents taught me, that we want to be honest and transparent with people. We are going to tell you, this is how much we charge. You're going to see the statement. You're going to see the fee on the statement. For us, it's always a percentage of the assets under management. You're going to see that fee on the statement. You're going to know what you're paying. You're going to be able to write it off in a non-registered or in a corporate account because it's investment advice. And you're going to, every single year, you're going to get a summary. These are all of the fees, the totality, the sum, all of the fees that you paid our investment firm in the last year. Be transparent would be my advice there. Make sure to work with someone who's transparent. If you get a wishy-washy answer on this, no good. It's not what you want. 4, how will the relationship work and how often do we meet? This is a big one because a lot of investment advisors, they have teams or they might just be effectively selling you a product. So if the relationship, it's important for you to meet, you want to understand how often to meet, how often the plan will be reviewed. Are you getting a plan, right? Are you actually getting a financial plan? That's part of the question as to what services you're providing for your client. So am I actually going to get a financial plan? Are we going to look at my estate plan? What about my corporate structure? If yes, who am I meeting for those meetings and how often are we going to meet? For us, very, very important, very critical that we do review the plan on an annual basis. To me, that's the most important thing, or when things change in your life, because we all know jobs change, life changes, grandkids happen, kids happen, maybe you have an expense, maybe the mortgage is paid off, whatever it may be, that's a change in your life. And that likely means let's take a look at the plan. And how is it going to work? How are you going to communicate with me? 5, What are your investment beliefs? What is your investment policy? What are your investment beliefs? The beliefs about investment to me are critical because you might meet an individual, a guy or a gal that's extremely focused on Canadian investments. That's all they know. That's what they've been brought up. That's what they've been doing for 30 years. And all you're ever going to own are Canadian stocks or Canadian bonds. Is that what you want? Really? Do you want to continue to underperform for a period of time? Maybe you'll meet someone who believes that you should own nothing but fixed income or GICs. Is that what you want? Do you want to trail performance like that? What about their beliefs with respect to ESG investing? ESG investing, right? You want to know if there's a particular belief in the eye of your advisor. To me, this is maybe the most important question. How are you going to set this up for me based on those beliefs and based on your investment policy? For us, I can tell you firsthand, I'm a big believer of owning asset classes that generate returns that are uncorrelated to the performance of the stock market. If we can have an investment class generate returns every single year and not have to worry about what happens in China or what happens in the UK or what happens, with global world events, aren't we in a much better position if we could reduce the volatility of the portfolio? We obviously are, and the proof of that is what our returns and what our historical numbers have done. I'm a big believer that you could have a whole bunch of alternative asset classes, private real estate, private debt, private equity, music royalties, farmland, the list goes on, an asset class that generates returns every single year, no matter what happens in the market. And this is how pension managers are managing long-term assets. They're not doing it for today or tomorrow or next week. Pension managers, the largest institutional endowment funds on the planet, they don't have stocks and bonds. Their belief and their policy is not to have 60% stocks and 40% bonds. Absolutely not. You're not going to see that, right? They want to have a whole bunch of other asset classes that are going to perform no matter what happens. And yet in Canada, the vast majority of retail investors, it's not what we see in their portfolio. We continue to see them have a big percentage of stocks, a big percentage of bonds, and nothing else. That needs to end in my mind. In my investment policy, my belief, if you were to ask me, would be let's reduce the risk, let's protect the capital, let's get much more tax efficiency in your investments, let's generate holistic wealth. And on top of that, let's do it on a much better diversified manner, which much better returns. So that's my belief. That's what I've built my practice around, pension style management that exceeds the returns with less volatility. Number 6, who do you do your best work for? I would ask this question before I got down the path with the advisor, because once the advisor realizes that you're, a retiree, they might tell you, yeah, I work with retirees. That's all I do. Or that you're a business owner. Yeah, I work with business owners. That's what I do. You want to ask this question ahead of time and you want to get a clear answer, because you might have a specific individual that works just with farmers, just with business owners, just with retirees. And you want to know that ahead of time because this is obviously their expertise and their niche. So that's a question I would definitely ask if I were you and if I was out there. For us, we focus on high net worth individuals. We work with a lot of business owners and retirees and institutions. That's our focus. Wealthy Canadians that have a long-term vision with their assets and want to leave assets for their next generation and want to just plan better in retirement. They've accumulated wealth. All right. So you've accumulated through your RSP, your TFSA, through your pension. You've accumulated wealth. You're now retired. You now need to spend that wealth. We want to look at optimizing that for you. Question 7, how do you define and measure success for your clients? So this one is a big one because you might come and say, just do better than my other guy and that's all I want. Well, how do you actually measure and define what a good return might be or a successful relationship with an advisor might be? I would suggest to you that an opportunity to reduce your volatility, to reduce your downside exposure while enhancing your returns might be important, because a lot of times I ask individuals, what's the most important thing for you? And they say, just give me the best possible returns. And I say, really? Because that comes with a lot more volatility. That comes with a lot more risk. Are you sure you're ready for that? And then we go down the path of having that discussion. For most of our clients, we're going to find out what they want to measure us by. On which benchmark are they going to compare us to? And I would also suggest that it's not just a benchmark there. It's also your personal feeling. How do you feel the investments went this year? I want to know how you're going to measure me, if there are specific benchmarks. And if you're a client out there, have you thought of this? Have you thought of which benchmarks would make sense? Or are you simply targeting a rate of return in the back of your mind? Or is it simply to optimize your wealth in retirement? Whatever it may be, that's a discussion you should have with the individual that you're thinking of hiring. Next question, 8. What is important to you and what do you value? So for me, I have an incredibly deep passion about investments and helping people. I've always known that I was good at managing money. I was always a smart kid with math and programming and stuff as a young kid. And I always knew that I thought I wanted to help people through the practice of law. And I thought that would be a passion of mine, but I quickly realized it wasn't. I love doing this, which is creating more wealth for individuals, which can allow them and lead them down the path to do something that they didn't think they'd be able to do otherwise. I get a ton of joy every single morning. First thing I do is I check the headlines, the BNN, the headlines for all the stock market. I love this. I'm incredibly passionate about it. I also get a ton of joy when we do planning for clients and we find out that we could save 100 grand or 200 grand or $500,000 or a few million using efficient tax planning tools and strategies. So for me, that brings me a ton of joy. And if someone asked me this is the answer I would give. And I'd be thrilled to learn about your situation to see how I can help. And I can tell you that if you're out there interviewing advisors, I would make absolutely sure to ask that question. What do you value as an advisor? Where's your take? Where are you coming from? All right, let's look at the big one here. In my mind, this is one of the most important ones. Number 9, will you coordinate your advice with my tax and accounting situation? This might feel like a no-brainer to you, but I can't tell you how many times we meet individuals who tell us, my advisors never talk to my accountant, my advisors never talk to my tax professional, my advisors never talk to my legal rep, my lawyer. It just happens consistently and constantly. And I don't know why, because for us, we can't really be on the same page. You're interviewing someone to be your wealth advisor, someone who's going to give you advice on every aspect of your wealth. That person needs to be connected with your accountant and your entire team, right? Because we want to optimize your wealth. If we're not on the same page, it's not going to work. So we always offer our clients the opportunity to connect with their tax professional, with their lawyer, to make absolutely sure their tax professional, lawyer, ourselves are all on the same page, and we are looking at their wealth as a holistic approach, right? Because long-term, right, the arrow will continue to go up, right? We're in a bull market, we'll be in one for a while. So we do believe that the investments themselves are important, but the planning for you is going to be as important. And you want to make absolutely sure that the team you're working with is connected and dedicated to working with your professionals. Because at the end of the day, who matters in this? You're the only person that matters, right? That's it. The buck starts and stops with you. All right, guys, if you'd like to chat more, go to www.speaktorob.com. I'd love to book a no obligation consultation to chat with you about anything in your investments. If you're thinking of doing this right now, you're going through the process of interviewing an advisor, by all means, give us a shot. We'd love to compete for your business. I know we can improve your situation. I know we can improve your returns. I know we can protect your capital. I know we can provide much, much, much better advice than you're probably getting now. Give us a shot. We'd love to do so. Take a sec to subscribe, like our channel, share with all your friends. And again, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Rob Tatro from robtatro.com, portfolio manager here at Canaccord Genuity Wealth Management and the Tatro Wealth Advisor Group. You have yourself a fantastic day.